across the manufacturing value chain. The exhibition is to ensure that players stay abreast of industry developments and cutting-edge technologies. From raw material suppliers and equipment manufacturers to packaging designers and printing specialists, the summit offers a diverse range of knowledge sharing and display of products from the packaging, plastics and manufacturing sectors. Speaking at the event, the managing director of Montgomery Group, Mr. Alexander Angus, mentioned that Propack is poised to establish Ghana as a leading supplier for consumer packaging.
Our objective here is clear, and that is to establish Propack as the key platform supporting Ghana's aspirations to increase the output of their Made in Ghana brand and boost its exports in the region and further beyond. This approach can ensure Ghana's plan at transforming its economy from one heavily reliant on natural resources to a true value-added export-led economy.
The Chief Executive of the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, Dr. Ifwa Sabiasari, commended the Propack team for creating a platform that showcases the prospects in the printing, plastics and manufacturing sectors.
How a product shows up and is perceived in the marketplace is just as important in generating sales and building a strong reputation as the quality of the product itself. I therefore commend the organizers of Propack 2024 for setting aside the first day of the conference to hold sessions that cover smarter packaging, packaging innovation, and the impact of digital printing on branding and labeling and opportunities in sustainable packaging in Ghana.
The summit has provided the opportunity for participants to engage with leading brands and industry experts through a series of exhibitions, seminars and B2B interactions. This is also to highlight emerging trends, best practices and innovative solutions driving growth and sustainability in the sector.
The Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, has called for a more efficient system to collect electricity bills to rake in enough money to purchase fuel for power plants and ensure reliable power supply. At a media briefing in Accra on Monday, ACEP's policy lead in incentive charge of petroleum and conventional energy, Mr. Kojo Yauche, expressed displeasure at the operations of ECG, saying its monopoly over power supply makes it very insensitive to the concerns of power consumers.
The problem here is that because ECG doesn't want to accept responsibility for the load management, GRIDCO will have to do it. And if GRIDCO does load management, it covers a wider area than ECG, who will be able to isolate some areas, including hospitals and other security installations, from the load management exercise. So I think at this point, ECG has shown us that its consumers and clients, it doesn't take us serious. It doesn't care about our concerns. They are just lucky that they have monopoly over the service that they provide for us. If there were competition to distribution of power in this country, I'm sure ECG would have lost all of its customers by now. So we have to be looking forward to a more bigger conversation about why don't we have money to buy fuel for the power plants to produce. And the problem still circles back to the distribution end, which is managed by ECG. Their inability to assure revenue to the value chain.
The Regional Council Chairman of the Certified Electrical Wiring Professionals Association of Ghana in the Bono, Ahafo and Bono East regions, Mr. Achimni Jima, is urging owners of buildings to prioritize the audit of their electrical wiring systems as required by law to reduce electrical fires and promote fire safety. He spoke with GBC News during a free electrical wiring audit of buildings in and around the Bono regional capital, Sunyani.
Certified Electrical Wiring Professionals Association of Ghana, SUPAG, is a group of professionals working to inject discipline in the electrical wiring of buildings to reduce electrical fires. The SUPAG members, in collaboration with the Ghana National Fire Service and the Energy Commission, offered free audit of electrical wiring systems in public and other buildings in the Sunyani area. The chairman of SUPAG, Mr. Akime Jima, said the exercise is aimed at checking the status of electrical wiring in buildings to promote safety.
Individual who engages a certified electrical professional has the confidence that his or her installation will not, under no condition will that installation catch fire. The reason being that materials, accessories, and the professionals handle it in such a way that no fire outbreak will come out of the results of somebody who has been certified by the Energy Commission.
A senior officer of the Energy Commission, Mr. Fred Brobe, described the wiring audit as very crucial as all buildings require periodic audit of their wiring to ensure safety.
With the LI 200, it states clearly that you should use a certified electrician to do your work. When a certified electrician does your work, he is going to go the extra mile to carry out the various tests that are necessary to ascertain the integrity of the wiring. When that is done, the law says that after every 10 years, or after the first 10 years, you should inspect it again to check that the facility is still safe.
Some beneficiaries of the exercise spoke with the news team.
3 days na mkoto na mrebe 7:30. Ebo 80 amo na power nasa. Meto 40 cedis. O ma me 10 units. Timdi be shemu na me bodokono. Ma modokono na nwie na asa.
Na me nim afi na o ma ba o ma le chair asin ma timase. Ebe he de na wa han so ya.
There are a lot of quack electricians in the system that are not satisfied to practice. But because it's a trade that they've also learned, they are all practicing. By your own observation, the rounds we are making, you can see the kind of bad practices and installations that people are doing.
The outrage was one of the activities heralding the launch of SUPAG in the Bono, Ahafo and Bono East regions.
President Akufo-Addo has unveiled 2 documents to govern state-owned enterprises in the country. They are the Code of Corporate Governance for Specified Entities in Public Service Organizations in Ghana and the Ownership Policy for Specified Entities. According to the President, these 2 documents will enhance transparency, accountability, and good governance within the specified entities for the success of corporate entities.
The State Interest and Governance Authority, SIGA, was established to oversee and administer state interests in specified entities and provide and develop code of corporate governance to guide sound corporate governance practices in the entities. This function complements the Public Services Commission's mandate of advising government on the criteria for appointment to public offices, persons to hold or act in public offices, and promote efficiency, accountability, and integrity in the public services, among others. The 2 documents unveiled today is a collaboration involving the State Interest and Governance Authority, the Public Services Commission, and the Finance Ministry. It is expected to guide and transform the corporate governance practice in specified entities. The Acting Director General of SIGA, Mr. John Buedu, was optimistic about the immense impact this regime will make on the national budget.
The contribution of SOEs to our GDP in 2020 was just 10 billion. As we speak now, even in 2022, it rose to 58.7 billion Ghana cedis. 2023 is much, much higher than that. In addition to that, the total assets of SOE's contribution is, as we speak now, 492 billion Ghana cedis, as opposed to 51.8 billion in the year 2020.
The Minister for Public Sector Enterprises, Joseph Kujo, said the code is key to the efficient running of state interest institutions to achieve high performance and productivity.
The launch of these two documents will complete all the structures and tools that we need to put in place as a country to ensure success in effective governance and management of our public enterprises.
President Akufo-Addo said by maximizing the benefits of state-owned enterprises through sound governance practices can help unlock the full potential of resources to promote inclusive growth and create a better future for Ghanaians.
This policy provides clearly defined objectives for ownership and articulates the establishment of proper systems for managing and assessing the performance of the state's ownership interests in our public enterprises.
The President acknowledged the state enterprises' contributions to the national account.
It is heartwarming to observe that by 2021, specified entities have significantly increased their total revenue to 121.8 billion cedis, compared to some 34.8 billion cedis in 2016.
President Akufo-Addo encouraged directors of state enterprises to utilize digitization to enable them contribute at least 30% to the national account.
We'll still stay with President Akufo-Addo, and he has directed all board chairs, directors and chief executives of state interest organizations to submit audited accounts and financial statements of their respective organizations to the state by the 15th of May 2024. This is to ensure transparency and accountability of the institutions to deliver on their mandate and contribute to national development. At the 2024 SIGA Annual State Interest Policy Forum, the President warned that government will not tolerate any delay in the submission of audited accounts and financial statements.
Preparation and publication of SORs have always suffered delays due to a litany of constraints. Key among them is non-compliance by public entities to the submission of financial statements. The 2020 SOR was published in March 2022. The 2021 SOR was published in January 2024 this year. The 2022 SOR is now at the final stages of completion. We should not tolerate these delays any further. All board chairs, entities, and management teams are hereby instructed to comply fully with the submission requirements from SIGA. The Public Financial Management Act mandates the submission of audited financial statements of specified entities by the end of April each year. These financial statements are central to the preparation of the SOR, and board chairs of all specified entities in the cabinet-approved list of entities are expected to submit their audited accounts and financial statements to SIGA by 15th May 2024. As a follow-up to this directive, I expect the Director General of SIGA to furnish me with the list of all specified entities who have not complied with this directive by 31st May 2024.
The Asogli Traditional Council has reiterated its disapproval of the government's proposal to rename the whole technical university after Dr. Ephraim Amu. The council described the decision as unfortunate, misplaced and disrespectful, considering that the traditional authorities of Ho have not been consulted. The warlord of Asogli, Togbi Aji Lakle Howosu, emphasized that the move would jeopardize the progress and reputation of the university and lead to confusion among stakeholders.
The decision to rename the whole technical university came to light in February 2018 at the celebration of the institution's 50th anniversary when President Akufo-Addo endorsed the proposal put forward by the governing council. The announcement faced a backlash from the Asogli Traditional Council at that time. They were not consulted in the first place. At a news conference in Ho, the warlord of Asogli, Togbi Haji Lakle Howusu, said the council had gathered that the university authorities and government intended to reignite the discussion to rename the institution after Ephraim Amu.
Names carry significant meanings and can impact institutions positively or negatively.
Togbi Howusu noted that the council's concern is heightened by the fact that the proposed name does not align with the university in any way. He stated that though the people of Asogli recognize the achievements of Dr. Ephraim Amu and his contribution to the development of the country, his feats have limited connection with the whole technical university. He said the people of Asogli have strong attachment to the whole technical university and are proud of their brand, which is steadily gaining national and international recognition. Togbi Howusu reaffirmed that the council totally rejects and would expose any attempt to rename the university. The council says the name should remain Ho Technical University. Some members of the traditional council, led by Togbi Howusu, paraded the streets of Ho to express their displeasure at the intention to rename the university. They also presented a petition to the Volta Regional Minister, Dr. Archibald Lecha, the Ho Municipal Chief Executive, Mr. Divine Borson, and authorities of the Ho Technical University. The school authorities pledged to deliver the petition to the appropriate quarters.
A Memorandum of Understanding has formalized a partnership between the Ghana Irrigation Development Authority and International Water Management Institute. This agreement will enable the two institutions to collaborate on how to harness Ghana's water resources and put them to productive use for irrigation. At a ceremony in Accra, the acting chief executive of GIDA, Mr. Richard Opon-Boateng, said the 5-year agreement between the two institutions would manage the country's water resources and ensure food security in the wake of the devastating effects of climate change on water bodies and agriculture.
The plan of the Ghana Irrigation Development Authority, GIDA, is to irrigate about 1.9 million hectares of farmlands across the country. But due to some constraints, 12% of the estimated hectares are under irrigation. The latest partnership between GIDA and the International Water Management Institute, IWMI, is to increase irrigation to about 950,000 hectares of farmlands. Also under the agreement, GIDA and IWMI will collaborate in research on how to predict rainfall with satellite imagery and model the country's water resources to benefit especially smallholder farmers. The acting chief executive of the Ghana Irrigation Development Authority, GIDA, Mr. Richard Opon-Boateng, said the collaboration with IWMI comes at a time when innovations are being adopted by governments globally to tackle the effects of climate change on water bodies and agriculture.
Climate change has hit us hard, and if we don't manage our water resources well, we will not be able to have water to produce food. So with this MOU, we have some what we call climate smart technologies, whereby we limit our water usage and still have high production levels. So for the smallholder farmer who doesn't know anything about water conservation, through this capacity building training, we'll be able to tell them and even train them how they should use their water resources.
The Director General of the International Water Management Institute, IWMI, Dr. Mark Smith, said his outfit has a shared objective to support the development of irrigation in Ghana.
We have a shared objective to support the development of irrigation in Ghana, to make sure it's sustainable and inclusive and productive and meets its maximum potential for supporting and strengthening farmers, their livelihoods and their families' well-being.
The 5-year partnership between GIDA and IWMI ends in 2029.
The Director General of the Commission for Technical and Vocational Education Training, TVET, Dr. Fred Ofeya-Asamoah says TVET is a solid platform for government to advance skills development towards decent job creation. According to Dr. Asamoah, this justifies the huge investments government makes to hone the skills of the youth and set them on the path of job creation and economic development. He was addressing the 2024 National TVET Symposium here in Accra.
The 2024 National TVET Symposium by the Commission for Technical and Vocational Education Training, CTVET, will analyze the importance of incorporating the Sustainable Development Goals in TVET to advance the 2030 agenda. According to the Commission, Technical and Vocational Education Training, TVET, is pivotal in the country's quest for development. This is because it offers the pathway for personal empowerment and economic prosperity. TVET also equips the Ghanaian youth with vital skills, fostering an environment conducive for sustainable job creation. The symposium is a platform for all the key players in the sector to explore strategies, share best practices, and advance apprenticeship training for sustainable creation of jobs for the youth. Dr. Fred Ofeya-Asamoah is the Director General of the Commission for Technical and Vocational Education Training. He believes the right environment is being created to develop the skills of Ghanaian youth through innovative TVET programs.
TVET, as we all know, is pivotal in every country's quest for development, and it offers a pathway for personal empowerment and economic prosperity. By embracing TVET, we equip individuals with the vital skills, fostering an environment conducive for sustainable job creation.
Professor Makaduma Samoa is the advisor on STEM policy at the Ministry of Education. He said honing the skills of the youth is even critical in this era of advanced technology.
TVET plays a vital role in underpinning productivity and driving economic growth anywhere in this world. The TVET system provides greater opportunity for Ghanaian youth to obtain relevant hands-on skills, gainful employment, and filling much-needed industry positions, especially in the field of engineering.
The 2024 CTVET National Symposium was christened Advancing TVET and Skills Development Towards Sustainable Decent Jobs.
Management of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation and officials of the China Media Group CMG Africa have met to discuss ways the two state broadcasters can collaborate for mutual benefits in areas of training, content creation, exchange programs, and capacity building to meet the changing demands of the current media landscape. The meeting took place at the state broadcaster, GBC.
The Chinese Media Group Africa is a Chinese radio and television broadcasting organization with a focus on funding and training journalists in sub-Saharan Africa to be innovative and more efficient in reporting. When the team met with management of GBC, the Deputy Director of the Chinese Media Group Africa, Mr. Pai Chun Lee, said they were proud to be associated with GBC and learn from its expertise, considering its long-standing reputation as a credible and authentic media organization.
I think there is a lot of room for us to work together, especially when it comes to training, content swapping, exchange of content. When it comes to major news stories, there's a possibility of our correspondent doing reporting for GBC. And when it comes to training, we do have opportunities of having GBC people working with us. We are open to what you would expect us to, how we can work together.
The Director General of GBC, Professor Amin Al-Hassan, was delighted at the partnership.
We are very much keen on an MOU that will facilitate the training, that will facilitate content exchange, and also we have two types of training, I must clarify. We have training for the technical expertise of journalism. Then we increasingly have to also look at areas of collaboration at the management level. New media, how do you manage television in an era? How do you manage radio in this era? So we also think that that area is some area that we want to look into if there are opportunities for collaboration. We are into factual reporting. We are development oriented. We are interested in content that will develop, not content that is just sensational and controversial. And I think that is the more reason why CMG Africa and GBC should be working together.
The team was taking on a tour of the corporation. One of the places they visited was the newsroom. The head of television, Neodate Lamte, briefed them about the day-to-day activities of the newsroom.
Radio, TV,
And to some more news, a Chinese-owned supermarket in Nigeria's capital has been shut by the authorities over allegations that it denies entry to African shoppers. Nigeria's Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission said it has summoned the supermarket's owner. The Chinese Chamber of Commerce in Nigeria has denied the racism allegations.
The supermarket is a tenant in a building run by the China General Chamber of Commerce, CGCC. An official at Nigeria's Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, said that the watchdog had launched an investigation into the allegations. This follows widespread outrage on social media after some Nigerians shared their experiences of allegedly being turned away by security when they attempted to go to the supermarket. Several Nigerians have demanded the closure of the supermarket, including former Senator Shehu Sani, who said any store in Nigeria that was not accessible to citizens should be forcibly opened or pulled down, unquote. An administrator at the building said the supermarket mainly sold Chinese groceries and that whilst it was initially open to serve the building's tenants, it permitted entry to outside shoppers, including non-Chinese visitors. The supermarket's owner has not yet commented. She has been summoned to appear before the Consumer Protection Agency by Wednesday. The watchdog says the supermarket will remain closed until she complies with the summons. Nigeria has a Chinese population of less than 10,000.
And it's a wrap on breakfast news, and here are the results for Delta Tuesday. The winning numbers are 59, 46, 10, 7 and 64. The numbers are 59, 59, 46, 46, 10, 10, 7, single 7, 64, 64. And it's a wrap from us here in Accra. We are handing over to our team in Kumasi, where the BFS clinic has opened a branch there. And the topic for discussion today is candidiasis. We are looking at the causes, symptoms, and the treatments. And we'll take a break now.
Live from GB.